I wanted to take a few minutes away from Donald Trump, if you guys can stand it, to talk about a pretty
We've been trying to do
jarring
that for 4 years.
um, political development of not political policy. So the post-Dobbs landscape continues to get, I would say, bleaker and bleaker for women and doctors. So we had the first new abortion ban since Dobbs took effect in Indiana, and another coming in West Virginia. But I wanted to talk about this thunderbolt, it seems to me, within the political world and the country by Lindsey Graham, who introduced a bill for a national 15-week abortion ban, with some exceptions. But it appeared to take leadership by surprise and expose these fault lines in the GOP. What was his calculation? Acting obviously without the approval of leadership. What's he thinking? And of course, he's just doubled down since then. And is it a blunder?
Well, I'll start it.
Yeah.
Lindsey Graham famously once said his main goal is to be relevant, and so I think, and in its simplest form, it's just that. Like, he saw a chance for himself to be in the limelight and took it. Susan B. Anthony organization was shopping around this bill. They wanted a senator to put it in. They believed that there was sort of an absence of consensus in the Republican position, and they wanted something they thought the party could rally around. And Mitch McConnell has been like, "Don't touch this thing, don't talk about it."
Right.
But Lindsey jumped in there, and they're all running away from it. A couple of them joined it. I think Rubio and maybe a couple others co-signed onto the bill, but most of them are saying, leave it up to the states, don't touch this thing. It's created very much a sticky situation among the Republicans on the Hill.
I mean, whatever happened to federalism here, right? Alito's opinion was we return it to the people, and the people means Lindsey Graham.
Yeah, it's completely incomprehensible. I don't understand the rationale for it or the politics of it at all. I mean, one of the points about Roe was it created 50 state wide rule that bound every state in an area that was traditionally subject to regulation by the states, family matters, medical licensing, all that kind of thing. It's just, there are 50 states, and different states do things in a different way. And the irony about Roe v. Wade was there was a massive liberalization wave politically in the states, where abortion was being legalized in many places, and Roe, weirdly, one of its perverse effects, as Justice Ginsburg noted once, was to stop that dead in its tracks. And one of the criticisms conservatives always had was, this was a matter for the states, and now they want to take it away. And then politically, I don't understand it. They're getting their asses kicked politically in the polls, because all of a sudden, the dog caught the car, and now they have to, now they have people pursuing extreme legislation in various states that turns off even diehard Republicans who thought that, even ones who thought that Roe was too lenient. And I just don't understand the politics of it. And I think it would have made more sense for Lindsey Graham, instead of proposing 15 weeks as a ceiling and basically cutting off abortion rights in places like New York and California and everywhere in between, doing the opposite, and basically saying at a minimum you get 15 weeks. That politically would have made much more sense for the Republican Party. Even though, again, it's hypocritical.
A floor rather than a ceiling, you mean? Yeah.
Yeah. Floor of rights rather than a ceiling, because it would expand rights in some of these states where it's become very controversial, and the Republicans stand to lose trouble, especially as demographic changes occurs in places like Texas. That would logically have made more sense, although it's still, again, inconsistent with the proposition that the states are supposed to decide this. And what's the constitutional basis for Congress that they think conservatives really going to make the Commerce Clause argument that this is a regulation of interstate commerce?
What about that NYU Columbia law prof? Do you see any federal basis for federal power here?
Oh God!
Okay.
There's nothing that's happened in the wake of Dobbs that's good for anyone here. I mean, this is just an unmitigated disaster. I mean, I was reading that this is designed just to give Republicans choices, right? You can either be the states' rights guy, if that's what you want to be. You can be the Lindsey Graham national ban guy if you want to be for your election, whatever makes sense where you're running in the midterms. I don't know whether that's an effective political strategy or not. I don't know if that's what was behind it or not. But I mean, I don't know. If you have a bill like that relies on the Commerce Clause and says that this is what the federal government is doing, and then that's challenged. I mean, what does Alito say about that? He just told us it was all up to the states.
We'll see. All right. I just want to add one very quick thing about Lindsey Graham. I am no political analyst or pundit, but he just seems to me to be sort of 80% of the time at least relatively thoughtful. And then he has this like Mr. Hyde meanness that he seems almost artificially to kick into gear and just become this snarling guy. I think of the Kavanaugh hearings, and this is mean Lindsey.